Are many companies threatening to leave the UK after Brexit? And do we know of any who have already left because of Brexit?
I mean, certainly if you read the press, right, and the business pages, companies are not happy with the current situation. They don't like the lack of certainty. The fact, if I'm trying to plan for running my business next year, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to trade with the EU or not, and that makes businesses upset. So they're certainly making noise about reallocating, moving out of the UK. It's, hard to get systematic data on what's happened so far. My sense is there haven't been large, kind of wide-scale moves yet, but that some companies have started to move a few jobs. You see this particularly in the city and big banks, right? They don't know how easy it will be to serve European markets from London, from the City of London, after March 2019. So they're making preparations for setting up offices in other countries, typically Frankfurt, Dublin, Amsterdam, Paris. But what they're doing so far is they're not moving all their staff to these offices. They're hiring office space there. They're getting approval to operate in these countries. And then they're moving, currently they've moved a small number of staff or maybe hired some local staff. But what they're ready to do is if, things go badly and they lose all access from the UK, then they will be ready to move a lot of people at a later date. So the way I would characterize it so far is kind of businesses are, particularly in finance, they're ready to move people if they have to, but they haven't really done so on a large scale so far.
And how do you think we should read that as a kind of ordinary person reading the paper, for example?
I mean, I think it tells you that the effect Brexit's going to have on kind of, what it means for jobs and investment in the UK hasn't been decided yet. It's going to depend on what type of Brexit we have. If, for example, we turned around and decided to stay in the single market, which means finance companies keep their passporting rights to the EU, they'd be very happy with that and they'd be happy to stay in London. But if we crash out with no deal, then suddenly we're going to see far more jobs move. So the type of Brexit we get is really key for what the economic consequences will be.
Okay.